I'd say that there's a large portion, probably 50% plus, that have some level of suspension modification done before the bike ever leaves. That mostly revolves around the fact that there's all different weights. Manufacturers can't set up a bike for every individual weight. It's too hard they mass produce, so they're not going to have customized suspension packages. So springs, setup, all those sorts of things are done in-house here. We do those things to upgrade for people. And for the performance arm of it, if someone wants the spring upgrade or they want some valving upgrade, they're a faster rider, they feel like they want to use it for some different purpose, then we use Chris Wood's Performance, Derek and Chris out there for more of a performance aspect of our business. Those guys have been doing suspension for probably 20 plus years. It's hard to get that sort of level of experience in 5 minutes. So we entrust them to do that performance arm of his business, and as a consultant for both setup and then WP. Obviously we sell the cone valves and track shock, which is the ultimate level that we can help you with setup, and that, and again, for more than just enduro, motocross, everything, we go through that whole setup. WP's always been like a product's been that people have strived to want to get a hold of, like the more advanced components of it. So then once it went back in-house at KTM, we put our hand up to try and get a hold of that. That then obviously led to them importing them direct. Supply was much better, the ability to get some training and all that sort of stuff was a lot easier. Something that we wanted to seek out. We sell obviously a lot of KTMs, so that plays in well because obviously WP is more widely renowned as a KTM now / Husqvarna product. They do a lot more than that, but that's what they're well known as, which makes it easier for us to get the message across of what we have with the WP product as well. For a new bike purchase, spring upgrade, you probably front and rear, you're looking at about $450. You know, we basically set that up to suit whatever you are. We can give you some recommendations of what we prefer, but that's a basic cost. Next step from that, if you need springs as well as, and you want to do some valving changes front and rear, you're up somewhere between $1,000 to $1,200. Then the next step for us after that would be cone valves, track shock. You're talking about $5,200 for a set of cone valves and about $3,400 for a track shock or an Explore Pro, as it may be, depending on the model. So obviously that's a pretty high performance product, and it's amazing the performance level can get out of that. But there's some great things you can have along the way that you don't necessarily. If that's not in the budget, you can get some things that work out pretty good before that. Obviously, one of the key advantages to buying WP cone valves, Explore Pros, track shocks, that sort of thing, is that that's yours forever. It's a separate component. Especially new bikes, what we have is guys will buy a new bike, they'll buy those components, they'll leave those components to the side unused, put the Explore Pro stuff in, use that stuff during the bike when it's time to turn that bike over, take that out, put the standard stuff back in. They've still got their bike suspension set up, ready to go for them when they transfer it through the next bike. And there's not a cost involved of either trying to remove what you've already put into your standard bike or then turning around and have to go ahead and have it redone again. So, and you know your setup, if you've worked hard to get to that point, then you don't have to redo it again. So today we've got Derek from Chris Wood's Performance come in. He's done some performance settings in Transmoto, Husqvarna and the KTM they have. That's basically a spring upgrade for both ends and a valving change and setup for both ends. That's what we've worked on these here today. And with WP though, the advantage is it's not just a KTM / Husqvarna product. I know there's some current races in there. They're now using the WP product in some Yamahas, some WR450s, that sort of thing. So just because we're a KTM dealer doesn't mean we don't do all brands. We can cater and support pretty much anything.